So a lot of you already know that I can be a bit of a sneaky individual, and I want to try and teach you how to be a bit more sneaky as well. I'm going to give you a few exercises to kind of integrate into your day. So when you're at home, a few exercises that you can do whilst you're waiting for the kettle to boil or when you're just around, sat down. Little things you can be putting into your day to help work on your balance and your strength. As always, if you get the chance to hit that subscribe button, just give us a thumbs up. That would be jolly tremendous. But in the meantime, let's get cracking. So thank you again for tuning in, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the StartStrong Series. What I wanted to do today was just get you involved with a few exercises that we can sneak in throughout your day. So it's not really a follow along video this time. This is more about just trying to do things when you're doing mundane things throughout the house. So let's start off with a bit of work on your balance first. So imagine that you're boiling the kettle, you're waiting, you've got a bit of time there. When you're stood around, if your balance is a bit of an issue, what we can do is work on that by just literally trying to stand on one foot. Okay, and trying to stand as still as you possibly can. When you're doing that, we want to try and keep the hips as still as we can when we're taking the foot away. All right, so try not to kind of shift over and take the foot out like that. We want to try and keep you nice and straight, as still as we can, as we then hover. You don't have to take the foot off too far, just hovering a little bit off of the ground. Now again, depending on where you're starting from, you could do that for say 5-10 seconds or even less than that maybe. Or if you're finding it quite easy, we can start making it a bit more of a challenge by holding for longer, or you can try and bring the foot out to the side. You know, there are a number of different things that we could be doing to make that harder. But exercise number one, keep that balance. Try and stay on one foot as still as you can. Even when you're doing things like brushing your teeth as well. That could be a really good one to put in as well. Okay, so work on the balance, make sure you're doing evenly on both sides there. Keep that core nice and braced and try and do it. Make sure you're in a safe position to be able to do it. As again, if you feel like it's not particularly good, make sure you're near a wall or a countertop or something that you can hold on to and just practice with it. And just again, sneak it in throughout your day. Don't worry about trying to do a load of it in one go. Just think, oh, here we are, I'm grabbing another drink, here we are. Let's just do a little bit of balance and just practice on that, all right? Try and get into just sneaking it in whenever you can, all right? Next one that I wanted to show you as well is when you are getting up off of a chair, anytime you're getting up out of the sofa, anything like that. A lot of times what people tend to do is they sort of slouch forwards like this and they use their hands and they're kind of pressing up off of the chair like that. But what I want to try and get you doing is working on your legs and onto your core a little bit more and use the power in your legs to get you to stand up. So anytime that you're standing up, out of a chair, out of your sofa, anything like that, try and set yourself up so that you have your feet at roughly shoulder distance apart, okay? We want to try and keep the feet straight or ever so slightly turned out. Not turned out like a duck or pigeon-toed or anything like that where your feet are turned in. Try and keep your feet as straight as you can. And what I want to try and get you doing is keeping the emphasis of your weight on your heels, all right? Anytime you're standing up off of your toes, what happens is the pressure wants to shoot out through your knees that way. And we want to try and make sure it's your thighs, your bottom and your core that's doing all of the work, all right? Now, whenever I'm getting people doing this in the gym, I always either have people having their hands out in front like so, or on their hips, or wherever you want to, just making sure that you're keeping that core nice and braced, you're not rounding off. So we want to try and stand from there. We're just going to lean you forwards and then gently try and stand up, okay? It doesn't have to be that slow, but what we're going to be looking to try and do is make sure that you're using the power in the legs and that core. So again, we can go nice and carefully leaning into it and step you gently up, all right? If I spin around and show you sort of sideways on, the bit that we want to try and avoid is this kind of slouching here. Remember that neutral spine position? If you want to go back to any of the previous videos I talked about with ribcage placement and hip placement, that works really, really well with this. So again, making sure you got the shoulders back and down. We're leaning forwards, but you're not rounding off. Okay, get your feet at shoulder distance apart. Keep the emphasis of weight on the back of the feet there and just try and stand up, okay? Then you can walk off and go about your business, all right? So again, that is a good one. Anytime you're getting up out of a chair, when you're sitting back down, you want to try and do the reverse of it. So again, keep the weight on the heels, try and point your bottom back like you're trying to shut a car door with your bum. And then gently sit back down again from there. Try not to use the hands, really build on that leg strength, okay? So from that position there, last one, I would suggest is going with wall presses. Works on upper body strength, still works on core stability as well. The main thing with this one is that when you're using a wall and you're pressing against it, the closer that you are up this way, the easier it's going to be because you've got more of your balance is upright. The more you start bringing your feet back and leaning in towards the wall, the harder it's going to get. But what I want to try and do is make sure your arms aren't way up high here, because otherwise your palms are going to lift off. You're going to get a lot of twisting going on in the wrists. So try and keep the arms back in at about 45 degrees. Keep your core nice and tight and braced, again, like we talked about just a moment ago. Squeeze your bottom and just lean forwards and then gently press back up from there. All right? And we can just ease that carefully in and press back up. Now, again, you can make it all that bit harder by leaning more into it that way. And the further you start going down, you get to the point where you're doing it off of the edge of a chair and things like that as well. The further you start going down, the harder it's going to be. So you can come a lot more into it flat here eventually. But the main thing is just going at a level that you're happy with. So start by being stood up against the wall. And with those and the squats there, I mean the squats, it's more like I say, we're trying to do that throughout the day. So you're not looking to do massive repetitions of it. It's just whenever you're going to sit down and stand up. With the wall presses, you want to build up to about 5 or 10 of those and then start making it harder. All right. So have a go at sneaking all of those 3 into your day. Let me know how you get on. As always, it's great to see where people are doing these videos. Anything that's sort of really helping you, just let me know in the comments and that. And if there's anything you want to see more of or any sort of themes you want to see in the future, just let me know. But anyway, thank you for keeping watching and hopefully I'll see you next time.